Got a delivery. So what we have here is a 1973 Holden HQ1 tonner. Sat around for a minute. It hasn't been on the road since 1996, and I dare say that it hasn't done anything in those last almost 30 years. So expired February 1996. 4-speed manual. Not sure about that shifter yet, but we'll give it a burl in a little bit. Speedo's fallen into the dash a bit. Saying 2,900 miles, I think, or kilometres. It's in both. So the odometer will be in kilometres. Going by that, I'd say she's been around at least a couple of times. Very solid old girl. Very little rust. Bottom of the cowling. A little bit of surface rust and a little bit flaky there, but no holes. Nothing in the top of the cab. There's dirt on the seals. Very happy. The tray's got a couple of holes in it. Let's have a look under the bonnet. Oh, the good old Aussie Red 6. Got no radiator hoses. Anyway, old 202. 3.3 litre. The wasp nest on the dipstick. We might drain that out before we attempt to start it, eh? A little bit of water in the bottom there. It's all good. Question is, does it still roll over, I guess? It's free, so if it turns, I've had a couple of these old girls over the years. If it turns, it'll run. Completely stock. Not molested with. Come around on the other side here. Obviously, she's been a farm bus for most of its life. It's short life, anyway. That's just a crease. Still, no rust in the seals. Dry country cars, you gotta love them. Nothing in this roof. Beautiful. All right, let's hook in and work something out. I pulled the carpet up. Nothing too sinister on this side. Obviously need to hit it with a vacuum. Might find a couple of pinholes, but pretty good. About what I was expecting. This side's been plated, but underneath it looks all right. Something is going on here though, so I mean, if I've got to buy one floor pan for a cab this solid, not really phasing me. I'll have a mate weld it in for me and she'll be right, but on a later date I'll drill the rivets out that are holding this plate in and see what's going on with it. Right now I want to get that oil out of the sump and then we'll go for a drive to the parts store later on and get a filter, some oil, maybe a couple of rad hoses, see how I'm feeling, and see if we can get this old bitch running. Rightio. Is it going to be water or is it going to be oil? Because on the dipstick it looks like water. And I'd say she's been very over full, and that's why so much oil's just come out through that front main seal. Yeah, she's water. I don't know how much water. A bit awkward getting under there. We have had a few floods come through here in the last few years, so it's not really surprising. Worst case, if this engine's no good, I've got something for it, and I've got something in mind. We might do that anyway down the track, but let's just say I've got something from another HQ that's Still 6-cylinder, but pretty friggin' angry. Alright, our drain pan's getting full of water. Still water. This is the second pan. Is it going to turn to oil yet? Waiting. Oh no, here it goes. I might drain that out quickly. Hang on. Well, I was about to drop a battery in. Well, I did drop a battery in, but and see what electricals are currently working, but someone's borrowed the cables off it, so I'm gonna have to get some later. See if there's something I can pilfer some off later on. Once that oil finishes draining out, I might just hit this old girl with some degreaser, because I'd like to pull these plugs out, put some ATF down the cylinders, just to let it soak, even though it's spinning pretty freely. But I don't want to pull these plugs out and have all that shit go down the hole, so yeah, I might give it a quick degrease and belt it with a pressure washer. Engine's already got water in it, so it is what it is. Yeah, took in. Alright, I'm going to smash it with a bit of this stuff, get you guys set up in the tripod, and we'll hit it with the pressure washer. See what comes off, eh? Rightio. Give it a hit. I don't know where the other head for this pressure washer's gone. that's a start. Might have to hit it with some more degreaser and belt it again. It's taken the top layer of greasy oil and shit off, but it's really packed on there. All right, looking a bit cleaner now. So what I'll do is I'm just going to pull those plugs out, put some ATF down the holes. That's what I've got on hand at the moment, and just leave it sit for the afternoon, dry out while I go about some business, and come back hopefully either tonight or tomorrow morning we can get it fired up. So I'm about to pop these plugs out, and I'm like, oh, I'll just pay attention to which one's number one, and I'll put the leads back on in the firing order, if they're even on in the right order now, because I'm like 1, like, so that's 1, 5, and then I'm like 2, and it's supposed to be 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4. So anyhow, we'll just pull them all off. I'll leave one off altogether, work out where top dead center is, and work that out later on, because otherwise if I hadn't have sorted that out, it would just run like shit and backfired if it runs. Who knows yet. I've got these plugs out. Oh, 1, dry but a lot of carbon. 2, not much carbon, dry. 3, very clean, almost lean. 4, lots of carbon, possibly oily, but I think it's just going to be a matter of wait and see. Rich again, not as bad. Then number 6 is fairly rich as well, but dry. And been a little bit of water in there, so that exhaust valve or intake valve must have been open. Same as that one. Alright, leave it sit for a few hours. Alright, so we got some parts acquired. We've got an oil filter, battery cables, which are a bit short, but they're going to have to do for today because that's all I could get. I'll work out how long I need and I'll buy some. So let's throw these on, throw this oil filter on, throw some oil in it, and see where that gets us. I'll clean these spark plugs up. Got the wire brush there ready to go. Let's do it. Alright, where are we up to? I've got the oil filter on, I've got the oil in the sump. I'm gonna have to pull this starter out and bench test it because I went to bump it over and it saw no signs of life. So I'll pull it out. I think we've got some earthing issues too, because I can't see an earth strap from the engine to the body, which won't be helping matters. But we'll deal with that as it comes. Yeah, I just want to wind it over without the plugs in it, just to build up some oil pressure. And I've also disconnected the fuel line, wound it over by hand a couple of times. She's pretty rank, but I don't think there's much in the tank, hopefully. And hopefully that carb works. Starter is out. It's starting to get late, so might just clean that starter up and come back to it tomorrow morning. Alright, we've had it working, and of course, oh no, there it goes. Bit awkward single-handedly. Alright, so next day, feeling a little bit refreshed. It's not hot yet, so I was feeling absolutely buggered last night. It was like 40 odd degrees, cooked myself, sort of couldn't keep track of shit, so put it down for the night, come back. That starter wasn't hitting every single time, so in the end I disassembled the solenoid. So you got 2 screws there and there, and desoldered those 2 wires. This back cap pops off, cleaned all the contacts in it. It's much better. And also put a little bit of lube on the throw out there, and also popped the back cover off and shot some lube into the back bearing. Alright, we'll get this back into the old girl and work on the electrical gremlins that are apparent, or at least conjure something up so we can hear it run this morning before it gets hot again. Alright, everything's connected, sort of. This lead's a bit short, so she's just sort of dangling in the distance there, but alright. Oh, we're losing it. Well, she turns over pretty smooth. I reckon we need some spark plugs soon, some ignition system. Then we might just fill that bowl up through the float vent with some petrol. See what happens. I'm actually pretty sure that something's already feeding power to this ignition system. So I've ran an earth to the bonnet hinge, and someone's obviously broken the ignition switch here. You've already got the alternator light on, or generator, but there's a push button there. But you can hear the spark from all the old spark plug leads jumping around the joint, so I don't know, never fixed it up. I'll get some plugs in there in a minute, chuck fuel at it and see what happens. I've already ordered the radiator hoses. I've got a other bunch of stuff coming for it. So in the next video we'll work on replacing some bits and pieces, as long as it runs alright. Otherwise we'll save those bits and pieces for the other engine. Alright, let's get some plugs in this whole girl. Get them started by hand. Bit of luck, that fuel tank's now empty because the fuel pump's working. So, depending on how this carb takes on, we might just put some fuel in the tank after a quick fire. And see what happens. Like, this is sort of only just to get it running and do the actual work on it in a separate video, but obviously that starter motor's still dodgy. The contacts are really burning it. So it will get replaced at some stage. Alright, some leads. Where do I throw that number one lead? I'm going to throw it in the seat. These are very old. So that's one. I've already popped the dizzy cap off, had it at top dead center on compression on one. No, that one's one. 5, 3, 6, 2, that one's a really long one, and it's been replaced. 4. Alright, go and get some fuel in a bottle and let's see what happens. We're leaking out the throttle shaft. I'm not doing a very good job of getting it in the vent tube. Probably should have a hose ready as well, I suppose. Let's just see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? Fire. That'll bring the views. Contact. Had a couple little kicks there. Alright. See if I can find a little syringe and just inject that carb. Still dry, so alright, we'll be back. Alright, we've got some fuel in the bowl now. Use a little syringe to shoot some down that vent tube. That carb is leaking like no tomorrow, so might need to go and dig through some parts drums and find an old one that still has some life in it. I wonder if the choke works. Here's the choke. All right. Got some life going on. Let's shut the rest of the way. Alright, well, I can't get an old carb out till this afternoon. It's getting friggin' hot. So what we might do, just for the sake of science, hook that fuel line back up, nothing's coming out of it anymore. Put some fresh juice in it, and in the tank, and just send it down there. Alright, oh shit. Ran a little bit of fuel through that fuel pump, just cranked it over, a couple bottles full. It's getting clearer. Chances are I'm going to have to pull that carb and clean it anyway, or get another one onto it. Then I'm not too worried about the little bit of stale fuel that's still mixed in with it. I just want to hear it run today before it gets overly bloody hot. Probably could pull that one on it and just see what's going on, but where are we getting smoke from? Oh, it's coming out the breather tube. She might be real healthy. Another little drink. I wonder if this is bloody. Good chance that thing's stuck. I'll need one seat. Come on. Ooh. Almost. Bitch. Yeah. Might put that battery on charge and give that starter a bit of a rest day. Alright, well, waiting for the starter to cool off and the battery's still on the charger. I've pulled this carb apart a bit, pulled the accelerator pump out. It's pretty well had it, so without a kit, we're not going to get it running a lot better. It's got a few little bits and pieces to shove back in here. Gave everything a good blasting with carb cleaner. Wasn't that dirty, a little bit of mud in the bottom, but I've seen plenty worse, so this carb might just be tired, to be honest, like with all the linkages being worn. Fuel pisses out the side of the throttle shaft when you tip some in. Obviously, if it was pissing out while it was running, it'd be flooding and you'd be looking back at this needle and seat, but it could just well be worn. Anyway, throw it back together. Worst case, we chuck another carb on it and find one that's a bit better and kit it. But for the sake of today's video, I just really want to see it run a little bit better and then we'll wind it up. Can't keep it running for long. Lost the bloody brake fluid tap. Much happier with just a little bit of a carby clean. Still no accelerator pump, so way a bit of smoke. Alright, let it cool off and try and get it moved out of the way because I've got to go back to work tomorrow, but that's good enough for me to go ahead and order some bits. You can hear a rumbling noise. I'll bet money it being the alternator or the water pump. Obviously there's no cooling hoses, so I've got those coming. That carb's still not great, like there's no accelerator pump, but it's running a hell of a lot sweeter than it was. I actually had to pull the starter back off because it died again. Once I pulled the back cover off of it, all the brushes had rusted into their holders, so I gently worked those loose, cleaned them up as best I could. It'll do for now. Obviously down the track needs another new one. I'm going to have to change that oil again, but might not do that right away. If I could get an oil company to help me out a little bit there, that'd be great. Anyway, but it is what it is. So that's the new ute. Not sure what its fate's going to be. Might tidy it up a little bit and then sell it on, or you know, possibly do something with it. It was just too good to leave where it was. Thanks for watching. She moved under her own power. Very poorly, but it did. Oh, where do we even start? But feel good about this one. A quick special shout out to the blokes who sold it to me. It's father and son. Not only did they let me buy it, but they also dropped it off to me doorstep. So fucking legends. Thanks for that, guys. I'll see you later.